There was no press conference, no government briefing, no breaking news alert. In the spring of 2025, OpenAI's O3 model quietly scored 87.5% on ARC-AGI, a benchmark specifically designed to be unsolvable by AI. Its creator, Francois Chalet, had spent years arguing this test would resist machine intelligence indefinitely. The model didn't just pass. It performed at the level of a careful, intelligent adult human. And the announcement, when it came, was buried in a technical blog post on a Friday afternoon. The mechanism behind this shift is called emergent capability, and it works in a way that surprises even the engineers building these systems. You train a large language model by feeding it enormous amounts of text, essentially the written output of human civilization, and asking it to predict the next word billions of times. That sounds trivial. It isn't. Somewhere past a certain scale of parameters and training data, something changes. Capabilities appear that we're not explicitly trained for. Think of it like water temperature. You can add heat gradually, and for a long time, nothing dramatic happens. Then, at one precise degree, the water boils. There is no partial boiling. The phase transition is sudden and total. AI researchers call these capability jumps emergent because they emerge without anyone designing them in. Reasoning under uncertainty, multi-step planning, and scientific analogy, none of these were objectives. They arrived on their own. There are serious people who believe this picture is dangerously incomplete. Gary Marcus, a cognitive scientist at NYU and one of AI's most credible critics, argues that benchmark performance is not the same as understanding. These systems fail on tasks a 5-year-old handles effortlessly: physical common sense, causal reasoning, genuine self-correction. They hallucinate confidently. In 2024, a lawyer submitted AI-generated legal citations to a federal court. 6 of the cases cited did not exist. The AI had fabricated them with complete confidence and appropriate formatting. The deeper problem, critics argue, is that we are making civilizational decisions based on benchmark results that we ourselves designed, tested, and declared sufficient. The thing evaluating AI's readiness is AI-adjacent thinking. That is a loop with no external check. This reaches your life sooner than most projections suggest. If you work in law, accounting, radiology, software development, financial analysis, or any form of content production, the tools now available to your employer can perform roughly 40 to 70% of entry-level tasks in those fields at lower cost and without employment overhead. Goldman Sachs estimated in 2023 that 300 million jobs globally face automation exposure. Updated models put that number higher. The more specific impact: if you are currently in the first 5 years of a white-collar career, the role you are being trained to grow into may be structurally smaller by 2030. Not gone, smaller. The demand will shift toward people who can direct, verify, and collaborate with these systems. That is a learnable skill, but you have to decide to learn it before the transition prices you out of the conversation. Here is where this ends up, in the plainest terms available. A transition that researchers once placed in the 2040s or 2050s arrived in the mid-2020s, and it arrived quietly, through blog posts and benchmark leaderboards, while the news cycle was focused elsewhere. In the next decade, these systems will be embedded in hospitals, courtrooms, power grids,